Hi everyone, welcome to Jacob the Analyst channel. Always a great day here. This topic really hit me hard after watching an interview with Fred Kerley. This man is what I consider a true alpha. And there are many people like him that get on notice who are out there as well. The interview was hosted by Unconventional Entertainment Group, and I will have links to the video so you guys can check it out. There is also an interview done during the Bowerman Award ceremony with Abby Steiner where she says it takes a village to raise up an athlete. And Steiner's coach Tim Hall responds. But let me play that clip first and go from there.
I got Coach Tim Hall here, and I've asked him multiple questions. He told me not to say a lot of things, so I'm going to abide by the rules and not ask those questions. But the main thing is, Abby touched on it takes a village to build up an athlete. You are part of that village. How is that?
It's super amazing. You know, the village extends beyond me. The University of Kentucky has been tremendous in, just supporting us, giving us the resources we need to be successful. Her parents, when all else fails, I have a go-to. Her dad has shown me exactly what to do when it gets hectic, and it looks like this. So when it all goes, when she gets, a little rattled, he gave me that go-to, and we use it when necessary.
Now, after hearing that, there are a lot of things to dissect, but I am only going to pull out one piece since this is just a short video which really stands out to me, and it is how Steiner's dad is an integral but indirect part of her coaching life along with her coach Tim Hall. With that said, I do want to contrast the parental lifestyle with Fred Kerley, but before I begin, just a quick note. This is not a pity party. Excuses are meant to throw the words because so and so is privileged, because there is always that one woke person in the comment section. And with hearing Fred Kerley's situation soon, you just have to be a big enough man to go and grab the opportunity. I personally believe we all have to play the cards we are born with. I like poker, so I have an unsuited Jack and 2, so Jack 2. The 2 is a disability that holds me back. I can't get rid of it, so I try to manage it, and it is very annoying but doable. The Jack I have, if managed correctly, can get me in the right place with the right people, but most importantly at the right time, which requires patience, due diligence, and a lot of work. I think that most of us have a top card, just have to figure out what it is. Regardless, being a top tier athlete like Fred Steiner or Noah Lyles and growing up with an amount of pressure also comes with a lot of challenges, and most people would not be able to handle it with or without parents and or even a community. So make excuses for people can be looked at as apples or oranges because everyone's situation, mental state at the end of the day is different. Again, I have to say that piece because there's always one person. We are in the excuses generation, which honestly stops people from trying. And that is not what the man Fred Kerley is all about. So getting all that out of the way, who is Fred Kerley? If you are hearing the name for the first time, in short, he is a person about that action, end quote. He had a tough childhood. Parents were not present. Had to figure out life on his own. And for a young man, it must be like playing chess and anticipating what your next several moves will be if this or that situation does not go as expected. I can relate a bit to his situation as it's like you must be hyper aware of your surroundings and dealings. I decided not to take this clip directly from UEG's YouTube channel because they deserve the credit for performing such an excellent video and interview here. But if you ever feel like you are in a rut in life and just coming up with excuses all of a sudden, well, someone probably had it worse, then listen to Kerley, as I think he would be motivational. Here are a few of his words from the UEG YouTube channel when asked, are champions born, bred, or did they learn it? Fred replied by saying, I feel like a champion is never born. It's all about the environment you are in. Most of us got the talent regardless. It's the people that polish us up. People see how I talk, but I have been talking like this since I was nothing. They aren't built like me. They aren't built like me. There are levels to this, end quote. Kerley's past and present performances are what I would call extraordinary and not common. He attended South Plains College from 2013 to 2015, which I believe is a junior college, before transferring to Texas A&M. He had an excellent track career while at Texas as a 400-meter runner. And just recently at the 2022 World Athletics Championships, Kerley won the individual world championship gold medal in the 100 meters, where he also registered his third consecutive sub 9.8 second performance in the heats, running a time of 9:79 seconds. And in the final, Kerley beat Marvin Bracey on the line with a time of 9:86, winning the world title in the process. Most of you know that participating in track and field is not easy. Kerley, if you did not know, was known for his work on the 400 meters, but to step that down and run a crazy fast time in the 100 meters as a middle distance runner is not seen quite often. We have seen certain athletes that are fluid, like Michael Johnson and Allison Felix, but for someone to suddenly switch from running middle distance to all of a sudden 100 meters at consistent sub 10s just recently, that enters into the what the F realm. It was mentioned during the interview that he ran a 10:02 at the World Athletics Championships final because he pulled a muscle from running the 200 meters before that event, which speaks about his mental toughness. Now, I do want to conclude this and tie it back to the interview with Kevin Hall and give whoever is out there encouragement and hope as well. It's great if you have good people around you in the case of a community, but if you don't and there is none around, then that's okay too. The journey might be rough, weird, and scary, but it builds character, as like Kerley, ending up not being a statistic at the end of the day. There is a prayer that my dad used to tell me. It went something like this when times are strange. As I walk through the shadows of death, I fear no evil because Tao is with me. Before I go, I just want to leave you guys with a clip by Hollywood star Shia LaBeouf of him telling an old Chinese story proverb. He's a great storyteller, and this is room for interpretation. I'll let you guys interpret it however you see it for yourself internally. Have a great day.
He says, I need you to download this tape, this Sandy Beach tape. Sandy Beach is a big speaker. And in this...
What was the speech?
Yeah, the speech was, he was talking about this Chinese farmer. And this Chinese farmer and his son, they're picking radishes about the ground. And they don't own the land that they're farming off of. And they're barely subsisting. They're giving 70% to the landowner. They're living off of 30% of these radishes. Their whole financial legacy is tied up into this workhorse. And one day, and the son is really working the land because the man is too old. And one day the workhorse runs up off the hill. He just fucks off. He's up the hill. And the son runs into the house and he shakes his dad up and he says, Dad, you're not gonna believe this is a travesty. We're gonna die out here. I can't get these radishes to grow unless I turn this land over, and I can't move that hoe without the horse, and the horse is gone. This is a nightmare. And the old man, nonplussed, looks at his son. He goes, I don't know what this is, son. I don't know if it is a nightmare. I can't call it. And the son thinks his dad's out to lunch, or like ambivalent, or something's wrong, or he's too old. And a couple days later, the kid is chilling on the porch, and he sees the horse running down the hill with 50 wild stallions behind it. And they run into the paddock, and he locks the paddock, and he runs inside, and he hits the dad. He's like, man, this is, fuck radishes, like, we're rich, you know, we're in the horse business. We're in the horse trading business now. This is a miracle, Dad. I'm gonna go tell everybody we're trading horses now. And the father looks at his son, nonplussed again, and says, I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a miracle. I can't call it. And a couple more days pass, and the son's trying to break these horses down, domesticate these horses. He didn't know anything about horses. He's a radish farmer. So one of the horses ain't having it. He rears up, kicks him in his leg. It's like 1400s China. There's no Kaiser Permanente. His shit is shattered. They wrap him in some like tobacco leaves and sprinkle some mint on it, go sit in a chair for a while. And he's wailing, and the townspeople hear about it, and the townspeople run up on the little shack, and oh man, what are you gonna do? You know, you can't domesticate these horses. You can't move this hoe. You guys are fully fucked. I don't know what you're gonna do, but this is pretty much the end, right? Like, this is a nightmare. And the old man says, I don't know what this is. He looks at his son's leg. He goes, I don't know what this is. I can't really call it. A couple more days pass. He's sitting with his son. He's trying to calm him down. He's in the middle of pain, and they hear this thunderous noise, and they look up on the ridge line, and they see 5,000 samurai on horseback running towards their little hut. And the commanding officer gets off his horse and says, give us your son. We're going to fight the Maoist army. And he looks at his son's leg, and he looks back at the samurai army, and he goes, I would, but he can't get out the chair. You know, he can't get on his, he can't. No, I can't. I would, but I can't. He's crippled. And the man gets back on his horse, and 8,000 men ride off to their death. And I listen to this tape, and I driving back from the beach back to where I'm living, and I get out of my car, and her bags are packed. She's on her way out. And old me would have written a haiku poem in blood and ripped my shirt off Hulk Hogan style and ran down the street and jumped over the fence, and that guy, climbed the hair up the thing. Yeah, boombox in the air guy. That's what I came up on. And something in me, from having heard what I just heard, what feels like this is now I can't get no lower. I hear this like I can't call it. And it becomes like the most diplomatic breakup I ever had in my life. And I say, what can I do? And can I get you a car? And she goes, no, don't worry about it. Go get well.